We are back, and this is my honest review of the Fantastic Four. It was just okay. I don't know if Marvel knocked this one out of the park. Aesthetically, the movie looked beautiful. The visual effects were beautiful. The storyline, it was okay. The characters were fine. Everything was just fine. There was nothing like this was great to me as a person. If Superman was like directed by the guy that had ADHD, then this was directed by somebody who really was slow and dragged this movie out. The film felt like a 4-hour movie, even though it was not. The second act was extremely, extremely slow. I had a friend that was with me who fell asleep. Vanessa Kirby did a solid job in the film as Sue Storm. The problem is she's more suitable as an actress or an actor, in my opinion, to things like a show like Downton Abbey or, she just doesn't have the superhero aura or feel. It's like, maybe she should do period piece films and things like that. Even though this is like a retro period piece film, but she's not a superhero. She gives off mom vibe, which is great because that's part of the plot, but she just does not give off superhero vibe at all. Pedro Pascal, he's just so overused right now. I think this weekend at the theater, he's got 3 films out. Eddington, it's the Materialist, and then the Fantastic Four. So at some cinema somewhere across the country, you're going to get 3 movies with Pedro Pascal in it, whether he's a supporting actor or not. He's in these films, and this one is an ensemble, so I wouldn't necessarily say he is the lead. I'm getting a little burned out on Pedro. I think he did a good job in the film. I mean, Pedro does a good job in anything he's in. I'm sorry, I've never seen the guy give a bad performance. Although I didn't see Wonder Woman 1984 because I heard it was so bad, and so I don't know how he did in that one. Joseph Quinn was solid as Johnny Storm, or the Human Torch. But in the back of my mind, I have Gladiator 2 in my head, which I thought he was crazy sick in that. So when I'm watching him, I'm seeing that movie in my head, and I'm going, oh God, this guy, he was so horrible in that film. But in this, I think he was good. He was that playboy, talking smack women, womanizer, whatever you want to call it. He's a guy with a lot of hormones and wants to bang everything he can get his hands on. And that came across. So I don't understand when they first started doing press on this movie that there was an issue with him saying something about he wasn't going to be like that character. He was. I'm sorry, he was. Julia Garner was great in this as the Shalal Baal, the female Silver Surfer. The problem is, because it's motion capture and she's got all the silver stuff on her and everything, you really don't see her in the movie. There's like one scene in the film where they show her before she, as the human type alien character she is, that before she gives herself over to Galactus and is turned into the Silver Surfer. Yeah, I mean, it's the breath of fresh air in the film was Paul Walter Hauser playing the mole. Now, to be fair, I've never read a Fantastic Four comic book. I've seen 2 of the original films that came out, but they've been so long, and I only watched them once. I couldn't tell you anything about them other than Chris Evans was in it. The other film, Josh Trank, I had friends who worked on that film. They said it was a disaster. I never wasted my time with the movie, and it bombed at the box office. But Paul Walter Hauser was a breath of fresh air in this movie. He was the guy that, like, anytime he came on screen, I was like laughing and having a good time with the movie. There were people like on Film Threat and a couple of other people that had reviewed the movie already and said that this is the most beautiful Marvel film that they had seen in a long time, and I will give it that. It's a beautiful film. It's just really slow for me. Comparing it to the chaotic Superman film, I got to have something in the middle. The post-credit scene is what it is. It didn't show you much, but kind of led you to what might be going down in the future. Post credit, there's a pre-credit screen, a post-credit screen. The post one, I wouldn't waste my time sticking around for. They just did a cartoon version of the Fantastic Four, like a 60s retro thing. It's a short little, basically the opening of a cartoon. That's all it is. And it wasn't worth sticking around after the credits. So if you want to watch that pre-credit like roll, whatever, like that is so quick, you can skip that too as well. I mean, let's be honest. And it's going to leak online after today probably anyway. You'll probably catch it. No, they'll be picking it apart. Look, it's the whatever. I enjoyed Captain America Brave New World, but I enjoyed it because I like Anthony Mackie and I like Harrison Ford. I'm a huge Harrison Ford fan. So I enjoyed that movie. Was it a great movie? No, but I enjoyed that film. It had comedy in it. It had spectacle. It was a nice, short, tight movie. You're going in there to watch Red Hulk fight Captain America. That's it. That's what you're going for. Thunderbolts was a fantastic film about post-traumatic stress. It's a shame it didn't do well at the box office because it's the best out of the three. If this is the next phase, like they're saying, the Fantastic Four, this is going to carry us into the next whole thing with, Doctor Doom and Secret Wars and all this other kind of stuff. This isn't. It's good. It's not great. It needed to be great. It's just good. And that's I think the problem with the film. The Fantastic Car is fantastic. The Galactus was great. He wasn't in the movie enough for me. The first act really spent a lot of time setting everything up in the movie. Then the second act hit and oh my God, it dragged. And then the third act wasn't long enough. There were people also saying that it had visuals like Interstellar. No, it fucking didn't. It did not. I'm sorry. There were other people saying that there was so much cool cosmic stuff that it just... No, it's not there. I don't know what they're watching. Interstellar is on its own level. Like, this is not that. Like, when they fly off into space and they're going to find Galactus and they go through the same type of like gravity well, it was cool seeing the Silver Surfer chase the ship, and catching waves on all this galactic, or dust and liquid lava and all this kind of shit. Yeah, but it wasn't on the level of Christopher Nolan. It wasn't. And I would say to date there are other films in whether it be Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 3, or whether it be even Avengers Endgame. There are stuff in other worlds, if you will, and galaxies that look way better than the Fantastic Four. The Thing, it's like they skipped his whole, like, when he's depressed and, trying to cope with this, because they've been around for like 3 or 4 years at this stage in the film. So we didn't get any of that drama with him. He was just mostly there for comic relief. And then, when the torch is on his back in the trailer going, say it, say it, say it, say it. I'm not saying it, say it. Yeah, he says it right then and there, but the theater I was in with the people I was in, nobody cheered. There was no payoff. They milked this thing throughout the whole film where, you got to say it. No, I'm not saying it. You got to say it. You got to say it. And, the camaraderie between Torch and Thing was great throughout the whole film, but not enough to save the movie for me. Will it make more money than Superman? I don't give a shit. I don't care. I'm at the point where I've tried to talk to people for years about the box office. I've worked in accounting for Blumhouse. I see how things are purchased. I see how things are done. I've looked at budgets. I've got a friend at Netflix that did a budget for me for a TV pilot. I see how the incentives work depending on the state. I waited throughout the credits and I saw that there were like 10 visual effects houses. All of them were, Weta in New Zealand, they give a 25% tax credit. Canada, 40% tax credit on all visual effects. I'm looking at where the UK, Pinewood Studios, 25%. And like, this budget only was a budget of like $120 million. They probably got 30 million in incentives, maybe more. So this one will probably be financially a success. I'm burned out on these superhero films. They're burning me out. I need something fresh. I need something new. I think after 35, 6, 7 Marvel films and then all these reboots with DC and all this crap, it's just getting to be crap. The scripts are not that great. I just don't get it. I don't get where they lost their edge. But they have. Superhero films have lost their edge. And that's just the way it is. Marvel kind of ended with Endgame. I've liked some of the stuff that they've put out since, more misses than hits, but they peaked and it's okay. You know, this genre wasn't going to last forever. It's like the Westerns. You know, they were big in the 60s and the 50s and 60s, and they went away, and then we get one every once in a while. And I think it's time for all superhero films to just bow out. I said it during my Superman review. Let's take a 10-year pause on all this stuff, let it breathe, and then let a whole new generation find this stuff all over again. But it's schlock. It's getting to be just, it's getting worse. It's getting worse. I don't know. I might be in a minority on this one. It's got an 89% on Rotten Tomatoes, 64 Metacritic, 91% of Google users have liked the Fantastic Four so far. Maybe you'll be impressed with it. Maybe you'll like the retro stuff. Maybe you'll like this movie. What did you guys think of the Fantastic Four? Once you guys see it, jump in my comment section and let's talk about it. And we'll see you on the next one.